Welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to show you like how we create the CSS selector with the help of using element and attributes. So I will show you like different ways to create the CSS selector. So now suppose that if we want to create the CSS selector for the assign, so we need to inspect. Click on this pointer, go to the assign button. Yes. So we can get here which attribute is more unique, which we can use. So here name is value assigned. So we can use both one. So let's just copy this here, use this, and then put here the attribute. Attribute is the name equal to assign and then element. Element is input. So now I will to create this locator with the help of using element and attribute. So when we are using XPATH, so XPATH we can start with double slash and then we are using @ before the attribute like this. So this is XPath for assign button, but when we are creating CSS, then we will not use the @ for the attribute. Also, we don't need to start slash, single or double slash. So without using slash as well as the attribute @ we will not use in CSS selector. So this is the CSS selector for the and if I talk to XPath, so XPath will looks like this, and here we will use the @. So this is CSS selector, and this is XPath of this element locator. So we can use both element locator with the help of using XPath as well as CSS, both will work. So sometimes if we don't have any unique value which will uniquely identify the particular element, so what we can do, we can go in the parent level. So it will look like this: element, attribute, value, then second element. This one. So let me create the some locator where we found, like if we go menu bar, so in the menu bar we can, maybe we will get the tag, similar tag for multiple. This is the ID. We can use the ID attribute. This will uniquely identify it to this locator. So this is the anchor tag. So generally we can use here with the help of same attribute. But if you want to also use this, suppose that this is not unique, and in that case we need to go in the parent. So parent tag is span, then bracket, square bracket, attribute greater than. So when we are using greater than, then it means it will select all the elements whose parent is no current tag. So this will select all element. So we can use here the parent element as well as the child. So we are able to identify the sales menu. This using two elements. Here we can identify our targeted element. So this is the CSS path for sales. So if I create here the element locator of this panel for any particular element with the help of using CSS, so you can see here, this is only one class. We can use this class attribute, and this is the div. we can use here div tag. Okay. So there are 4 elements. We are getting 1 of 4, but we want to any particular element. So to create the unique locator, we need to go into the parents. So like here, its parent is create. So if you want to create the get the locator of the create contact, then we can use its parent. Parent is A, and then in square bracket we can put the attribute create. So this now you can see this is highlighted to create button. So this is locator of the create button. So here I am using two. One is the parent element and second is the child element. So CSS equal to now. So if you want to create the XPath, so its XPath looks like this. We need to start double slash. Then here we need to put the @ as well as here we can use the single slash and then this slash. So we can separate the elements with single slash. Single slash means it will get the all the elements whose uh, parent tag is A and data action name equal to create. So let me check this here. This now you can see this is highlighted to same element create button. So now let me again create the this view contact button. So I can use this and it has data action and name equal to list. We can try this. Yeah. Now this is highlighted to this element. So this is XPath. And if we want to create the CSS of this, then what we need to do, we only need to remove the this slash and replace with greater than, and then both @ we can remove from the attribute because in Selenium, because in the CSS selectors you don't need to use the @, so that's why I'm removing. And also we are not using double slash or single slash in CSS, so we can remove this also. So now this is CSS selector for the view contact element. Similar type, if we want to create the CSS selector for the import button, we can go get the this and let me highlight this. So this is the import contact here, and this is the import. We can use this in place of the list. So now this is highlighted to import contacts element. We can use this CSS selector. CSS selector, and for XPath, this XPath looks like this: double slash A, and both attribute we will use the here @, and we will separate the both element with single slash. So now this is the XPath of the same element, and this is the CSS selector. Here, another things we can use CSS selector without the using element like this. So in that case, it will select all the elements whose attribute contains an value, corresponding value. Like suppose that if you want to get the this name, this I'm not using here the div, so it means this selector will select all the elements whose class is action menu link, right? So it's not dependent upon the tag here. So maybe the tag is div or any HTML tag, it will be applicable. So it will only it will check the element which contains the attribute value, attribute and attribute value. But if we are using here the anchor A, suppose that are div, so in that case it will check all the div element which contains the class action menu link. right? Now here you can see I am getting 1 of 4. But if I replace this with default single tag, other tags, other element, so it means this will find out all the elements whose element is A and attribute equal to action many links. So there is no anchor tag element A which class is action menu link. So that's why we are getting here 0 of 0. So when we apply here the element name, then in that case it will check only for that particular element. And if we are not using this tag here, element here, then this will be applicable for all the elements, right? So we can use also here without element. So if I talk this element, this CSS selector, so here we can remove also tag name. When we remove the tag name, then this will be applicable for all the tags, all the elements, right? So this is not dependent now upon a or a div tag. So we can use this CSS selector like this, and a similar type if we want to use in the XPATH, then we can use here the asterisk like this. So now you can see using the asterisk, this will be highlighted to the all the 4 element, but sorry, all the one element import context. Why? Because this is related to import context. But here we are using here asterisk. It means this is not fixed for any particular element. This will be find out all the elements which has class action menu link as well as each parent data action name equal to import. So this is the CSS selector for this, and below is the XPath CSS selector, and this is the XPath. Okay. So in XPath we are using the contains, and now in the CSS we can use the asterisk. So class asterisk equal to action menu link. So in that case we will find out all the element which class has action menu link, right? Now here you can see I am getting 1 of 8. It means all the element which class is action menu link. And if I mark here element like div, so it will highlight the only the div, right? So now if I want to get the href which contains a which contains only the action, this one. This. So in that case, we can use here the asterisk. So it will find out all the elements which contains action tag. So it's not the start. Maybe it will find out anywhere in the strings, but it will verify the all the href link which contains the action. This. So this will work like a contain. So here we can use attribute and asterisk. And a similar type, if we want to create the CS XPath selector for this, so let me show you how we create. Here we can start from a double slash, here contains bracket, and then here we can use this comma, bracket close, and at the rate before href. In XPath, every time for every attribute we will use the at the rate the attribute name. And this I am using at the contain, so that's why use the contain function. So contain, this will find out all the anchor tag, all the a element which href contains the action. This is similar to both are same. So we can create the CSS you can for the contains with the help of using asterisk, and in the XPath we need to use the contains function. So like if I want to add use here contains, sometime if you will get that some dynamic value, maybe the value is getting dynamic like this, so you can remove the value and only use the fixed value, and in that case you can use the asterisk or this till. It means it will check only if the element attribute like this attribute start with mobile menu. If this is not started with mobile menu, this will not find out. Like you can see I am getting here 0, but if I use here the M, because this is not started with OBIL, right? This is started with mobile. So I can use here, if I remove this, then you can see still I am able to find out. So there are two elements which started with the mobile. So with the help of, if you want to create the CSS which will start with any particular, which attribute start with any particular value, then we can use the till here. So this is the CSS selector here I can use. Okay. So it means it will find out all the element which will start, which attribute will start with this value, right? Like here example, it will find out all the element which ID is related to start with mobile. CSS selector. And how it looks like XPath. So in XPath case, we will use the start with double slash this at the rate, and here we can use starts hyphen with. I have already gone through the one video where I have explained the CSS XPath selector. You can go with that, you will find out a lot of concept there. Now you can see this is the XPath for the contains. Sorry, start with this one. So these are the some attributes, concepts which we are using to create the CSS selector. So I will create some more videos which will be related to the CSS selector, and hope this video will also help you to get more understand on how we create the CSS selector with the help of using attributes. Thanks for watching the video.